tonight, I was just thinking of something, and I would like to put it on the record for future me and future relatives and whatnot. I would like I just had a big fart, so lots of free room in the GI system. So wake up, sig, eat food, sig, shit, sig, big fart, sig. I got room now. Anyways, I just thought through my brain was so many people have books and they go on TV or as is the case that I thought podcasts or long form YouTube interviews, and they always have books to introduce, and I'm like, who reads books anymore except for weird people? And I would like to thank Harold Ramis's character on or in Ghostbusters when he says print is dead. Now, the character may not have meant the same thing that I interpret it to mean, but I interpret it to mean that books and long form entertainment and in a lot of cases education is dead. It was extremely difficult, if not impossible, for me to absorb education material from my textbooks. I mean, I was never able to learn that way. I tried, and it was like my brain, when I tried to read from that, my brain actually actively fought against me trying to do that. And I'm sure I wasn't the only one to experience that. And reading like when English or social studies had me do that, it was even worse. So math, science, it was easier to do that, to learn that way, because it was blurby. You know, it was like at a paragraph at a time. That's a lot easier, but still very hard. Now, like when I'm playing a game, like Civ is a great game to reference. When I go into the Civilopedia and I'm looking up for information on like a building or something like that, and it gives me like stat information on the building, that is no problem. So that kind of referential information for something, or like Wikipedia information on a person, born here, born there, they were this, in the small town of blah, blah, blah. That kind of information, there's no problem. My brain doesn't fight against me when I'm trying to do that, But like reading a novel, especially a novel assigned to me by somebody else, it's just like my brain. I'll try and read it, and my brain's just like, I remember that Homer Simpson clip when Ned Flanders is talking to him about apple cider and apple juice, and my brain is just like, you can stay here if you want to, but I'm out of here. And the brain just leaves, and That's my brain. But before he does that, he's just like blah, 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 just talking to me about other stuff, and I'm just thinking about other things and just whatever. And then finally, it's just like, yeah, fuck this, and so am I. So yeah, that's books, and yeah, everybody's got a book to promote, and I'm just like, how many of these books were, before they print on demand? Because I think there's a lot of that going on now. They do printing on demand. Before they did that, how many books did they print? 1,000 or 10,000? And then how many of those just went straight into the landfill or into, you know, waste to energy, or just into a burner? Just throw them on the pile and burn them because nobody's ever going to want them. And if you throw them in a landfill, they'll decompose and it'll just float up as gas into the atmosphere anyway. So let's just burn them now. Or, who knows what happens to them. Grind them into pulp for newspapers. Any number of things. Nobody's going to read them. Everybody on their asshole and their asshole has a, 1, 2, 3, 4, 500-page book, and nobody reads them. Because, why would you? Back in ancient Greece and stuff, they never, not that they really had like paper to write anything down, but they always taught by lecture. Everyone always taught by lecture. If you couldn't teach by lecture, you weren't a good teacher. And the information in tribes were always passed down by a storyteller, and you had to tell a story, hundreds of times, and to be the next storyteller, you had to be able to tell the story perfectly, word for word, and you had to be able to tell it perfectly word for word, like 100 times out of 100 times, and your memory had to be perfect, and blah, blah, blah. It was a fantastically complicated series of tests in order to inherit the right to be the storyteller, in order to keep the fidelity of the information. That's the proper word to use. Have information fidelity retained from generation to generation, so that it didn't become a game of telephone, or at least it was as good a protection against that as you could have without writing it down. Even when they did have paper, there's historical evidence that without really good block printing and photocopiers, like modern laser inkjet copiers, and vacuum sealing paper, text on papyrus that's hand rewritten gets fuzzy and everything. So transferring text is not always the best way. It loses You end up losing stuff when you get translated, or even just hand copied. The same person has different hand strokes for different letters, especially different letters that are complicated, like the cursive letter G or some shit like that. It can look very different. So, yeah. Books suck, is what I'm saying. Screw books. But that's just me. I'm sure a lot of people love books. Just like they love chess. I hate chess. I picked my nose again. Well, didn't really pick it. I just kind of, I got lots of random itches. And they're only getting more as I get older. Arms, legs, balls, butt, head. Thankfully, I'm not at the age yet where I got random pains, not too many. It's every once in a while, but, you know, I figure another 10, 15 years, and I'm going to get the random pains too, and then it's going to be great. That's going to be a new joy to have. So, yeah. I know that's a bit of a tangent, but books are dumb, and as a final treat, Trump is dumb. There you go. Everybody enjoy enjoy Halloween, and after Halloween is done, enjoy Thanksgiving, and enjoy Christmas, because put up your lights now, because it's only August. You know, get ahead of everything. Advertisements will be starting soon, because we only have about 3 months to go to start buying Christmas gifts. So make sure to consume, and you know, remember, this video was brought to you by my penis, and it may not be big, but it gets the job done. And there are two round things that definitely are subservient. So everybody, why don't you enjoy yourself and my butthole. I really hope I get elected president, because everybody's gonna love some of the shit I say. You're just gonna... Fox News, there you go. There's some ammo for you, by the way.